Hi everyone, welcome to the TriEssence martial arts page. Today we're going to discuss on the Chinese martial art techniques. Have you ever wondered for yourself or other people you know, they've been training for years and years and years, but the technique you train doesn't work. You get into a fight, you start fighting like boxers or kickboxing. Okay, I've seen a lot of people like that, and you got to ask yourself a question when that happens. Why are you training those techniques when you're just gonna fight like this? If that's what you want to do it, you might as well just train boxing or kickboxing or sanda. The reason you want to train Chinese martial arts or train those movements, spend time on those movements, because this is what to serve a purpose. But how do they serve a purpose? Or why can't they serve a purpose when you are sparring or fighting? That is the question we're going to discuss today. Okay, there are three things that we're going to talk about. Number one is techniques that doesn't work. End of story. Alright, I've seen a lot of demonstrations and seminars and YouTube videos where there are techniques that simply just doesn't work. For example, a technique where the guy punches and you're gonna spin around the guy and then take him down. That does not work. Alright? It's a stupid thing that might work in imagination, but the guy who invented it never fought a real person who's gonna hit hard and fast. Another example would be the guy punches and you do this and you hit him. Okay, you lock him up. Just think about it logically. How much faster you have to be to do all of that, okay, when that person is just doing this. Not to mention that even if I am doing this, what's stopping him from hitting with that hand while I'm doing this? Okay, this is some ninjutsu stuff. And it doesn't work either. Okay, I got another example. I've also seen one where they say the guy punches you, you go here, and then you throw him over. Once again, how slow must he be punching, or how fast do you have to be, to grab the enter when he's doing this? And what about him doing this and that? Why wouldn't he pull his hand back? All of these are questions that cannot be answered with techniques like this. Another typical one is people, Wing Chun master will show when somebody punches you, do a punch. You do this, and then you go in with Chapman. Once again, why would he just punch once and lead into a punch that I have time to jump to the side, and after that, he's like becoming a vegetable man. I can just hit him in the head like 5 million times. It doesn't work, right? Because when that guy punches fail, you're gonna hit him with another hand. No one's gonna stand there and say, "Oh, my punch missed, let's get hit." So, another good one is the bagua. I've seen people who explain, bagua is that when somebody punches you, you're gonna walk here and try to hit him in the head. And when he turns around, I'm going to turn around and hit him that way. Once again, unless you move like flash, otherwise it's much faster for him to take a punch at you than for you to take a step and to take another step this way. All of these are examples of people making up applications, or they don't understand the movement they are training, and they've never tested these in combat. So if you're learning stuff like this, then don't be surprised that it doesn't work in combat. The second point is about techniques that are misunderstood. Alright, these techniques are designed for a purpose. If you use it for another purpose, they're not going to work. Okay, so if I take a screwdriver and I'm trying to hammer a nail into the wood, it's not going to work because that was not designed to hammer a nail, it's designed to screw. So on the same principle, for example, a popular Wing Chun thing, the Bangshou and the Tanshou, alright, is not designed for someone who does a jab in this distance. Why? Because when somebody jabs at you, just do the one jab, right? Do the jab. You Bangshou and then you're going to put the hand back. And then what do you have? Same with Tanshou, right? He jabs, I do this, and then I'm going to get hit again. So what does the Bangshou and Tanshou do? Is that when Wing Chun is designed, it's designed for close range. If I'm here and he punch and I Bangshou, even if he takes the hand back, I'm still stuck on him. And here, if I tensile again, you see I lock him up. And if I move closer, I'm in control. But if we come up to the distance of boxing range, which is about here when we start, then bounce and tensile doesn't do much. So if somebody is actually throwing punches at you like this, bounce and tensile will never do anything. So if you use bounce and tensile in boxing range, if people swing fast punches, you're gonna fail. It's designed for this range. So that when I tensile, even if you try to pull the hand back, I'm still here, and I'm still close, and still can bounce. Once I'm locked up, I can hit it. But it's impossible in this range. You're still going to get hit in the face. Okay, so that's one example. Next example, we're going to look at mantis, double seating hand, which is a movement that goes like this, and then you go for the face. First uppercut or hand. This one, as I explained in another video, is designed for a long bridge punch, right? In Chinese martial art, back in the days, most styles favored a hard, long bridge punch. Nobody punch like this. And when people punch hard and long, it's easy to do this. And the reason you have two hands over it is because one might not be enough. So this one move it to the side, and this one take it down. And when it goes down, you hit it in the face. Alright? And because you are this close, and you're pulling this down, when hitting the face and he blocks, I can have many techniques from here on. Like grabbing here, elbowing him, grabbing here, hooking him, grabbing here, break the arm or hit the arm here. All of these only applicable when I'm holding this hand. Okay? Let's imagine in a scenario where we're not fighting to the traditional martial art punch, but jabs. If he jabs, just do one jab. You see? I have nothing to grab. Even if he blocks this, even if I try to grab him here, he's going to hit me again. But this technique doesn't work in this scenario. It works when I'm holding here. Right? He did a hard solid punch to knock me out. And with that punch, I put him down. And then when he blocks this, I can do other moves to it. So that's how mantis technique would work when using double seating hand to set up any move. Right, same with the elbow. Right in the elbow here, he had to bend over for me to continue the next technique. I can't just hit and then move on my own. It's not going to work. I'm going to hit him and you got to bend. If he doesn't bend, then you can't use this technique. You have to use another one. So techniques have to be used for the right purpose. You can't take one technique and try to fit them all. Alright, same with karate blocks. Why does karate block here, block like that, and block these, right? Once again, it doesn't work when people jab it at you. But that's because karate was not designed against boxing either. Karate was designed against what originated from China, so designed once again against hard punches. And if you look at the way karate are trained, traditional karate from Okinawa, they also punch hard, right? When people punch like this, you have time to block. And because they punch so hard, you want to block up.
10 seconds.
But if somebody jabs and you want to block like this, you're gonna miss. Alright, so now, as you can see, a lot of the traditional blocks are not designed against jabs. Alright, because jabbing is a very Western thing. In traditional Eastern martial art, it is not a very big issue for people. They don't use it as much. So when you're fighting in the modern age, you have to adapt. Not saying the old technique does not work, but you have to understand what situation does it work. And when the situation doesn't suit these techniques, you have to improvise with other things. Right? Do not try to take this technique and one size fits them all. That will not work. Right, the other thing that makes techniques fail is power. In certain styles, you require to have some type of power. When you don't have that power, you cannot use the technique. For example, in Yi Quan, right, this is a Chinese internal system. When you pull people, that technique where they engage the person and they pull them down. You have to have the unified power and the structure so that even if he's tense, you can pull him off, and then you hit him. Alright? If you don't have that training of that structure and internal force, you're gonna use this move and he's gonna be stronger than you, and then nothing happens. Same with the Yi-Quan puncher that goes very close. If you can't generate power like that, then this punch is not gonna work. You're gonna go to a guy, hit him, and it's not gonna be sore. And that's not because the style sucks, it's because you didn't train it properly, not using it properly. Alright, so using technique in the right place, for the right purpose, with the right power, is very important for any technique to work. Alright, now we move on to the third point. It's the method of training. Alright, how to train effectively for the techniques to work. Traditionally, training consists of doing forms. Right, you'll be repeating with these moves and the techniques. However, when you train on your own, even if you visualize how the technique works, it does not simulate how it actually works. So therefore, later on people invented two-man set, where the person will hit, and I will do this, and I will hit him, he will block, and then I will hit him. Okay, these are two-man set practice, which are good for you to get used to the technique and to be accustomed to the distance and the flow. However, if you just do this, you will never be able to fight with this technique in real life, because the person is not really resisting. He's throwing a punch, allowing, first of all he throws a punch, and he waits for me to do the technique. And then I do it, and then he does it and waits for me to grab it. But in real life, this punch could have been gone by the time I'm here. And he could have tapped me here, to the block. He could tap this and comes back. And I could have failed the grab. So it's very different when that person is having a war of his own. He's actually having a plan and moving about randomly, not according to my plan. So after training these set moves, right, we have to actually train resistance. You can ask a sparring partner to punch you, but don't wait for you. You punch you faster. Not like a jab, of course, because this wouldn't work, but don't punch and be like this. Try to hit really hard, and then when you connect it, pull it back. So the other person will then try to keep up to the speed. Or that after here, when you block, don't let me grab him. I grab and try to resist. And then feel what it feels like when someone doesn't actually willingly let you perform the technique. Alright, this is very important to eventually be able to improvise. If I pull him properly, I'll do this swing. If I pull and it doesn't work, like he's bending his elbow here, you've got to do the next technique. Right? If you're doing something else, you do something else. You have to let the person resist against you so that you can actually learn to improvise. And the more you practice, the more realistic you have to get. Eventually you may be able to spar with someone and still try to find these techniques. Try to find time to use these moves. Alright? Try to change your habit of just punching like everybody else. Instead of just doing this, you have to break the pattern and try to find opportunities. Like do some fast punches. Try to find the opportunity to hit. Alright? It's only through this real life training and trying to bridge the gap between doing two-man set and doing real life fighting can you eventually use some of these techniques in real life. And only then will I think that your martial art training is purposeful. Alright, if you don't want to put in the effort to train from set techniques to resistance to real life, then punching a bag is very better for you than training martial arts. Alright, that's it for today, and hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more videos in the future. Have a nice day.